Hi Aries, this is your reading for April 2019. Happy birthday. Thanks for joining. Please join me and focus with me while I shuffle. Tune into the deck. Set aside anything that you're doing so you're not multitasking. And all of your attention and presence is here with me for your reading. While I'm shuffling, please take a moment here to check in with your higher self and your guides. Ask them to reach out to my higher self and to my guides so that we can create a feedback loop to get relevant and tailored messages that are for you. The Sun, beautiful. Crossed by the Knight of Swords, Eight of Swords, the Hermit, High Priestess, Hierophant reversed, the Emperor, Queen of Wands reversed, the Star reversed, Queen of Swords reversed, Two of Cups, Death reversed, Page of Cups, and Nine of Swords. So a lot of major arcana energy in your reading. And it seems like there's a lot of people here in your reading as well. There's two queens here in reverse, and a lot of major arcana archetypes in the spread here. The Hermit is at the foundation. The High Priestess is in the recent past. Hierophant in reverse is in the near future. We also have the Star and the Death card, both here in reverse in the position of hopes and fears. So let's unpack it. I mean, it seems as though, like, my initial impression when I was putting the cards down is that there's a lot of movement and a lot of activity happening in, I would say, in your inner world, and that's also being expressed in the outer world, in your in your daily life. It feels like there's some activity of movement and change. What I also feel is here is that there is, I'm hearing evidence. I feel like for some of you, you may be realizing or understanding some specific details about things. I'm hearing gathering information. So, and I'm hearing also witness. So what it feels like is that there is information coming to light, things that you may have been suspicious of. For some of you, I feel like this reading could be about a partnership which may or may not be dissolving, but it may be about realizing that there's another person involved in your relationship that you may have suspected but haven't really been able to put your finger on. Like there's a suspicion of an energy of another person, and for some of you that is clarified here by this Queen of Wands in the position of your environment with the Page of Cups. So I feel like there is someone in your energetic field that's hidden from you, but that you've been aware of in an energetic way, in an intuitive way. I feel like that's what the High Priestess is saying here. So perhaps you've been suspicious of something, potentially of another energy in your relationship. And this spread here for some of you could indicate that your suspicions may have been correct. But even though that may be difficult for some of you to learn, to understand, and to realize, for some of you it's actually a relief to know that your feelings have been correct. And that in learning this information, it gives you a sense of empowerment in the sense that you now have a way to move forward with more clarity, rather than feeling like you're just some crazy person that is suspicious. So there is an empowered energy with this for some of you. There is a feeling of gaining of clarity. And having this Sun card in the heart of the reading is very interesting, given all this other surrounding energy of, you know, extra people or hidden things coming to light. It feels like a beneficial energy that's being provided to the reading, given that some of you may be going through a tough time with learning some secrets, learning some hidden information that's been made available to you. So with this Sun energy at the heart of the reading, I feel like for a lot of you, you're taking this information in the way of feeling empowered by the truth. I feel like the Queen of Swords here in the outcome position with this Two of Cups is sort of like the, you know, you have this Queen of Wands in reverse with the Page of Cups in the environment, and then this Queen of Swords in reverse with the Two of Cups in the outcome. I feel like this could be an indicator that, again, truth is coming to light with this Queen of Swords and the Two of Cups here with it being about a relationship. Now, I want to say that I feel like there's multiple interpretations here that I can give, and I'm gonna give different messages here, and it's gonna be kind of like a pick your own reading kind of a moment here, because I feel that some of you are taking this information and using it to be empowered in a way of moving forward with your life that is removing obstacles and removing impediments and taking action to bring your life into a place of more integrity and clarity. Some of you, though, with this Eight of Swords in the crowning card position of the reading, with this Queen of Swords in reverse, may not actually be willing to use this information for the truth. You might not be willing to actually resolve what you've learned. You would maybe rather not know still. So there's different energies here going on for different people here that are watching this reading. Now, what else is here? You have this Emperor in reversed with the Nine of Swords here. So I feel that for some of you, and this is your card, right? The Aries card is Aries consciousness is represented by the Emperor card in the Major Arcana. Now, seeing it here in reverse with this Nine of Swords, this feels to me like, and these cards in this position represent how you see yourself at this time. So there is this feeling here, and I did say earlier there was this feeling of empowerment for some of you, but for others there's this feeling here of like uncertainty, ungroundedness, binding, restriction, lack of clarity, and a little bit with that is some self-sabotaging feeling, like this Eight of Swords with the Nine of Swords here, both of these swords energies together with this Emperor, and the Emperor is also holding a sword here, I might add, in this deck. I feel that some of you are kind of like restricted in a sense that you don't want to make any movements or action based on information that you may have just learned, because you don't want to have to unsettle your life in some ways that may feel like complicated or troublesome or difficult. And I understand. I totally understand. But I feel that the message I need to pass here is that you can't just do nothing. You know, you have to either... I feel like for some of you, what's going on here is that this is about you confronting someone. And I think that what I'm seeing here is that for some of you, this is about confrontation avoidance. And that can become quite dangerous if that's left too long. You know, sometimes there's moments where, okay, it's just simply not the right time to broach a topic. But if you never broach that topic, that's dangerous. It's not good. It's not healthy. You're compromising your wellness at a fundamental level if you're allowing people's behavior to affect you in a certain way, and you don't let them know that that's not sitting right with you. That has consequences for your personal well-being in the long run. You may not see it right away, but over time, what you're actually doing in that situation is communicating certain things to the universe and allowing certain behavior to be okay when it's actually not okay, and you're perpetuating a certain type of dynamic, whether you continue with this person or not. But there's something important here about communication and confrontation and gaining confidence through the ability to express truth and just call a spade, I guess. Because you have the Hermit here as also in the foundation of the reading. This card is in the position of your unconscious mind. So what I'm seeing here is that for some of you, secrets have been revealed and information has come to light, which has helped you realize something and understand. But at the foundation, there is a fear of being alone here, and there is an avoidance of confronting this person. Could be this Hierophant reverse or the Emperor reverse. Could be either of these people. Never mind about the gender. It's just about the archetype, right? There's someone here who you depend on a lot, who you rely on a lot, who's kind of your rock for some of you, I would imagine. A person who you have potentially built a life with or built something substantial with. Could be a business partner also. This may not necessarily be a romantic relationship. But there's someone in your life who I feel has been misleading you in certain ways about different topics. It's a general reading, so it depends on you, right? For some of you, this is about dishonesty. This person may have been dishonest towards you. This person may have been lying or behaving behind your back in ways that is concealing information from you. And at some point there needs to be, you need to address this. You need to confront this person with this. Now in the hopes and fears position, we haven't really spoken on these yet, but we have here the Star and Death both in reverse. Now, being that this is in the position of the hopes and fears, this says to me that you are afraid of letting the dream die, because for some of you, what the situation that you're in, or perhaps the person that you're engaged with or involved with or in business with or married to or whatever, it has been or is in some way a dream realized. And you may not be willing to allow this dream to end, even if you know there's some really vital information that is not really, how should I say that? If information has come to light, which is very, I'm hearing detrimental, but it's more, the feeling I'm getting is more like information has come to light that is too big to ignore. But you are kind of trying to ignore it because you may not necessarily be willing to address the fact that this information is going to have a huge impact on your life and it's going to generate change. And you may not want to deal with that kind of change right now. The bottom of the deck, you have 2 of Wands, 10 of Wands. Interesting. Temperance and 7 of Wands. So a lot of Wands cards coming out here. I feel that for some of you, what this is speaking to directly, so 2 of Wands and the 10 of Wands, this is saying clearly that you need to make a decision about whether or not you're going to drop this thing. And by drop this thing, I mean either the relationship, the dynamic, the person, the business partnership, the business, or again, for some of you, this could mean, are you going to just drop the knowing? Are you going to just pretend you don't know? Are you going to just move on with life and carry on as if you didn't know this thing that you just found out? And then Temperance here with the 7 of Wands. The Temperance card is often about reconciliation, forgiveness, acceptance. So that could be something that you may be grappling with. Again, another major arcana card here. But some of you may be deciding that you want to just like try to manage the emotions on your own without doing this confrontation, without bringing this awareness to another person or to other people of information that has just been revealed to you. And rather than make a confrontation, you're going to just try to hold it all inside and try to manage it on your own. And that can work for a little while, but I don't think it's very sustainable. Because what's going to happen if you do that is you're gonna find yourself behaving passively, aggressively, or you might find yourself like your anger is going to need to have an outlet. If you're feeling angry about something that you've learned, if you've been discriminated against, or if you've been lied to or cheated on or stole from or whatever, if there's been something egregious happening that you've become aware of but you don't deal with it, you try to manage the emotions on your own, you try to just forgive and forget, what will happen is that anger will try to find an outlet. And if you deny the fact that you're having these feelings and just try to manage it on your own without actually bringing that information to the person whose behavior has been inappropriate, then you're going to find yourself having anger outbursts or difficulties. You're going to have those emotions won't go away is what I'm trying to say here basically. Those emotions won't go away. You're going to have to find a way to process them, and honestly the best way to do it, and it will have consequences, there's no way around it, but you need to confront. There needs to be a confrontation here. It's the only way around. Well, it's not about going around. The way is through. And the way through is by communicating. And when I say confrontation, it doesn't have to be some kind of vile, ugly, aggressive, violent, mean, shouting match. This is grown-ups sitting down and communicating to each other like adults. And potentially creating a resolution. But this, what I'm seeing here is that you're trying to resolve this on your own, and I don't think that can work. What I'm saying is that with bringing this information to this person, communicating directly to the person where the pain is, the source of the pain is coming from. Again, it doesn't have to be aggressive or violent or angry or mean. It needs to be adult, and it needs to be calm, and it needs to be intentional and have the purpose of, or the intention to resolve and clarify and clear. And if that's possible with two adult people coming together as grown-ups and communicating clearly, then this need not be the end. This could be a continuation. This could even make your relationship stronger and better if you're actually able to come together, as I said, as adults, as conscious people with you know, very evolved communication style to overcome the adversity that you're facing and create something even more powerful and more successful and more beautiful and more illuminated as a result. The potential for that is here. Okay, Aries? There's a lot of potential here for a big healing, for an expansion and a growth. But if you try to hold your feelings on your own and work it out through within, if you just try to stuff it down and try to do this by yourself, I don't feel that you will have a good result. But you have the potential here for a very big expansion and growth of you as a person, and also with the person you're dealing with, and as well the entity that those individuals create. There's a lot of potential here for a big growth, but you can't excuse me, you can't do that on your own. Sorry. I feel that that's the general reading here, Aries. I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now and shuffle again to give you a higher octave reading. The higher octave reading is designed to give us more insight into what's happening on a karmic and spiritual level. Hopefully provide a little bit more insight into what it is that we're facing and the lessons that we are being provided with and the opportunity that that holds for us. We're all about the growth path right here. So while I'm shuffling, please do take a moment to check in again. Send your energy over into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. And we're going to put down another holographic mandala spread. Six of Cups reversed, crossed by Strength. Five of Wands reversed. 10 of Cups reversed. Magician reversed. Tower. Hangman. Ace of Crystals. 9 of Cups. Woman of Wands, there she is again. Universe, which is the world. 4 of Crystals reversed. Child of Wands reversed. And the Fool reversed. So again, a lot of major arcana cards coming out here. Bottom of the deck, you have the Man of Cups in reverse. So what I'm seeing here with this spread is that, as I said, there is a lot of potential for very big growth and expansion of your energy as an individual, as a healer in a way. Like, the energy I'm feeling here is that, yes, there is some pain. I feel like there has been some disappointment. There has been some challenging influences that you've been dealing with. But what's on offer here is that you can take the path that you usually take, that you've often taken in the past, where you feel defeated, you feel sad, you feel lonely, you feel overcome with like uncertainty of what to do and how to deal with it. Maybe you feel like overwhelmed with emotion and unsure how to process those emotions, or unaware of how to channel those emotions into something that will generate a regenerative energy of growth and expansion. Rather, you may have allowed situations like this in the past to take you in a direction where you perhaps had a collapse in a way, like maybe your life caved in and you had to start over again, and that is very devastating and hard to maintain, hard to sustain, because it takes so much energy to do that. And I feel that what it's suggesting here is that you have the chance to be in this space that you may have been in before. There's something familiar about the energy I'm feeling here. It's like you may have felt this kind of energy before in your life, where something really heavy has happened, or you learned some information that was really painful, where you felt like somebody betrayed you or deceived you or lied to you or cheated on you. There's something really, really dramatic in that regard. And you may have had that fear of confrontation that I described in the first reading, where you may have avoided communicating about something that is really important, but because it's such a difficult topic, you've avoided it. And as a result, had to kind of reorient your whole life to start over again, because you couldn't continue in the way you were. What it's saying here is that you're at a fork in the road now. You can take the path that you've taken before and do that makeover that you've done in the past, or you can take a moment here to say, okay, I'm going to step it up, because I want to see a different outcome, and that I know is possible, because I'm willing to put the work in, and I'm willing to have an uncomfortable conversation. I'm willing to make a confrontation, even if it's really fucking uncomfortable for everyone, and see yourself grow in a way that you may not have even known was possible. Because there's a lot of, as I've said this before, there's so much opportunity here for hugely... I just had to change the battery there. So as I was saying, there is a massive opportunity here for really expansive and exponential growth in your own development. And the result of that in the bigger picture, in the long run, is that you'll have a better quality of life, you'll have better relationships, you'll have better interactions with other people, based on the fact that you have pushed yourself and you've kind of dug deep within yourself to find ways to relate better, to communicate better, to strive towards conflict resolution and overcome conflict avoidance. You know, when you start to take those steps towards actually communicating and expressing things that are difficult to do, life becomes incredibly better. It just does. It just becomes better, because you start to realize that you've been holding back so much because you've been afraid of so many different things, whether it's just afraid of hurting someone's feelings, or afraid of saying something uncomfortable and awkward. And in doing that, what you've been doing is like putting your needs way down on the list of priorities, and also, you know, conflict avoidance just is something to overcome. Simply, it's just something to overcome. Because if you don't put everything out in the open and talk about it, you can never evolve past it. You can never have better agreements or better relationships, because you know you're not having all the information out on the table. So let's see what else is here. At the center of the reading, you have the Six of Cups in reverse, crossed by the Strength card. I feel that what this is speaking to is using your pain as a kind of signpost of the direction to go. You know, like, let your pain be worth it. You know, don't just suffer and then try to overcome it by stuffing those feelings down. Like, actually look at those feelings and think about and talk about what comes up, and let that be the way that you move forward, is to kind of go in the direction of actually addressing these things rather than avoiding them. And the Strength card here for me is talking about compassion, wisdom. The Strength card for me has a connection to Durga. You know, from the Hindu pantheon, there's the image of the lion here. Durga is often seen depicted riding either a lion or a tiger, and I feel connected to Durga through the Strength card, because for me it's that bringing that wrathful compassion to a situation when something's wrong. You know, when something's clearly wrong, whether it's abuse or dishonesty or lack of integrity or any number of things that could be wrong. Strength in the form of that wrathful compassion is bringing light to a situation that needs to be addressed, rather than avoiding it and pretending you didn't see or pretending you didn't hear. It's actually directly addressing the issue so that it can be brought into the light, that it can be understood and loved and integrated and forgiven and understood in a way that allows it to let everybody grow from it. You know, avoiding things doesn't make them go away. They just get bigger, actually. And then we'll need to emerge in some other way that could be really uncomfortable and tragic, like this Tower card moment that you have here. We'll come back to that in a second, though. So, facing your emotions, dealing with your emotions, letting your emotions be the signpost for the direction that you need to go in order to like work towards places where you need to grow and issues that need to be resolved. These two cards in this position represent how you see yourself right now. You have the Hanged Man and the Fool in reverse. Really interesting. What this is saying to me is that it's almost like you are willing to sacrifice your own well-being in order to let a situation which should not be compromised because it's uncomfortable for you to address the situation. So what I'm seeing here is that this is the position that you're taking right now, in that you're unwilling to confront, that you're unwilling to communicate, you're unwilling to evolve. You're more interested in sacrificing your own needs in a way that is like, it doesn't feel like, I don't feel like there's self-love in there. It's more of a self-sacrificing kind of an energy where you kind of like, woe is me, kind of letting yourself be downtrodden without actually claiming that self-love that is there for you to own and to be, and use that self-love to then channel truth and honesty into a situation that needs to be highlighted, like information that has come to you needs to be shared and highlighted so other people can become aware as well. And with the Fool here in reverse, it's saying to me that you are not allowing yourself to have that regenerative rebirth, awakened moment where you can move forward with the conquest of difficult experiences behind you and integrated them and evolve in trust and love to move forward with a renewed sense of hopefulness and inner guidance and authority with the benefit of those struggles behind you. If you do that, if you actually allow yourself to have the struggles be for something, not for nothing, then you can actually move forward in life with renewed trust, with renewed hope, with a kind of like face to the sky, let's see what happens next, because you've actually processed all that information. But if you don't do this work, if you don't deal with these things, you will end up just carrying the burden of resentment and anger and pain forward with you, whether it's with the same person or people or with other people. It doesn't just go away. That's the point I'm saying here. Is like, you can pretend that you can forgive and forget and do all this like inner work to kind of deal with the pain that you're experiencing, but without bringing it to the people that need to hear it, you're simply going to carry that with you. It doesn't go away. I don't feel that you can process this pain and this difficulty and this experience on your own in a way that will allow you to move forward into the next part of your life, whether it's with the same people or with different people, with clear energy, with a clear energy field. There will be resentment and anger still within you that has been unprocessed, that will then slowly but surely seep into other areas of your life. Now, at the foundation you have the Ten of Cups in reverse, and the crowning card is the Five of Wands in reverse. So how I feel this energy is that, again, if we're talking about a family situation or life or love in the sense of like a family unit or business relationship, as I said, it could relate to different things. I feel that, again, if there is disappointment or loss of passion or loss of enthusiasm or loss of love in the situation that you're in because of information that you may have learned or some kind of evidence coming to light or something being revealed, then if you don't utilize the energy of this experience to actually propel you into a growth spurt, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity. What you have here is the Ace of Crystals upright with the Child of Wands in reverse. This is in the position of your environment. I feel that what this is speaking to is that again, there is this information coming to light, or some kind of communication that you have received, or some kind of evidence. I keep hearing evidence. Information has come to you that is providing you an opportunity to have clarity and understanding. And what you do with that will depend on where you end up. So again, for some of you, if you try to dispel the information, if you try to suppress it, if you try to pack it away, if you try to forgive and forget on your own without actually having a confrontation, you may be harming your future in a way, because that little something that's inside you, lodged inside, could be something big, could be something small. If it's not processed now and released and understood and absolved in a really correct way, then it'll just be inside of you until such time as it has the opportunity to express itself somewhere else down the line. In the hopes and fears position, you have 9 of Cups upright with the 4 of Crystals in reverse. This is speaking to your well-being, as I said, your health, your wellness, your happiness, your contentedness. It depends a lot on how you process this information. And the 4 of Crystals is about, and here it's in reverse, meditating on ideas or concepts. It's information. Again, the Swords is the element of air, so it's about information that's come to you. And this information, I'm seeing that here, being that the 4 of Swords in the upright position is about restfulness and meditation, contemplation. Seeing it here in reverse with the 9 of Cups is telling me that information that you received is not letting you feel restful. It's rather disturbing, actually, and it's affecting your wellness. It's affecting your fulfillment, your contentedness, your happiness. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with that information? What are you going to do with those feelings? How are you going to move forward from here? How are you going to work with the energy that you're feeling in a way that can be profoundly expansive for your personal growth? That's what the opportunity is here. Yes, it's a difficult moment, but it's in those difficult moments in life where we have the greatest opportunity to grow, to learn, to expand, and to love. Now, the outcome cards here, you have the Woman of Wands with the Universe. The Universe in this deck is related to the World card from our other tarot decks. It's number 21 from the Major Arcana. And so, interestingly, you have the World card, which is the final card of the Major Arcana. Here you have the Fool, which is numbered 0, so it's the first. And you have the Magician here, which is number 1 from the Major Arcana. And in the previous reading, you had the High Priestess, which is number 2. So there's a lot of energy that is kind of suggesting closures and completions and finalizations in order to start anew and fresh from a beginning, a new beginning. But that's not to say that something needs to be over in the sense that you have a major kind of upheaval in life where you move or you change your relationship. This can just be about an energetic cycle, a karmic cycle of your own doing, your own, how do I say that? Like information that you, like your own feedback loop, right? Like the way that you are at the moment unconsciously creating situations and events in your life so that you can become realized, right? This is a moment where you can see a big thread of karmic, I'm hearing injustice, some kind of karmic injustice that you may have experienced in the past, which has been perhaps relived in different ways through different experiences in your life. This is a moment where you get to have that huge aha moment, a light bulb goes on, and you can see a cause and effect. And you can with your awareness and with your heightened sensitivity and understanding around the situation that you're in, you can actually tweak the algorithm so that it doesn't play out the same way again. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope this is clear. So rather than it being about less like a massive upheaval in your life, as I was saying, this is something where energetically you have this moment now to shine, to understand through your awareness, through your intelligence, how much you are actually impacting reality, and have a greater influence consciously rather than unconsciously, which is how things have been operating in this regard in the past. And it fundamentally is about shedding of the ego, right? Like as I was saying in the earlier reading, if you're having this moment where you like understand something difficult and you know that you need to confront or communicate something and it's difficult and you avoid that, you're letting your ego kind of win. And having the Tower card here in this position of the outcome, you know, like there's so many powerful cards in this reading. This is a very powerful reading. So having this Tower card here in the position of the outcome is saying to me, this is a moment of shedding. It's about shedding of the ego. It's about shedding of some trip that you've had, of some glitch in your own matrix that you've been allowing to operate on an automated pattern, on repeat. This is your moment to influence the grid in a really profound way and change your life such that you just improve the quality of your experience. And isn't that what we all want? Better quality of life. It comes through putting in this hard work right now in these moments where it's uncomfortable, where it's painful, where you're feeling all kinds of things and it's fucking hard. But you put the effort in now, it's really worth it. Because you get the win. You get the prize of a better quality of life, better experiences, greater joy and fulfillment and happiness. Let's see at the bottom of the deck. Man of Cups in reverse, Seven of Cups, Ace of Cups in reverse, and Two of Wands in reverse. This is saying to me basically what I've just said. You can stay in your sort of sleep mode of what's going on and like ignore and avoid. Stay living in fear and stay on the roller coaster ride. Or you can take this moment here now to realize, like really realize, understand like how much of an influence you can have on your own reality and how much of a difference you can create in your sense of well-being in right now, but also in the long run, by awakening to greater love, greater self-love, purifying past influences that you've allowed to kind of influence you in an unconscious way, and shine light on something in a very profound way to actually really shift your life in a pretty big way here. Yeah, it's like turning the lights on. This ten of Swords here is sitting out at the bottom of the deck. It's 10 of Crystals in this deck. And I just realized I picked up 2 cards with that. We have here the Balance card in reverse. This is the Justice card from the Rider-Waite deck. Both of these cards are in reverse. I feel like the message here is that this is about overcoming your self-delusion and self-sabotage by actually just being more proactive in the way that you handle issues when they come up. And stop avoiding. I feel there's a lot of avoidance here. Avoidance of actually dealing with the issue in a really grown-up way. You might not necessarily, if I keep saying conflict avoidance, you might not be able to relate to that at all. You might be the kind of person that's very confrontational. But you might just be like letting confrontation be an outlet for your anger, but not actually really dealing with the problem. You might not actually be getting to the nuts and bolts of it. You might just be like using the opportunity to fire off some anger that you may be triggered by this situation, and it could be a portal for you to express some anger, but you might not actually really be dealing with the problem. That's what I'm talking about here, like really getting to the root of what's going on. Aries, that's your reading for this month. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your subscription. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe and hit the bell button there for notifications if you would like to know when new readings are being uploaded. I would suggest you watch this again because there's a lot of information there, and I would also recommend that towards the end of the month that you come back and watch this for a review and see if anything jumps out at you differently later in the month after some events have unfolded. You might find that there's a lot of relevance here that you missed the first time around. So again, thank you so much for your time. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I look forward to seeing you in next month's reading.